Okay, so let's show you why club face is massively important, not just at impact. So at impact, where the club face points is pretty much where the ball starts, even more so with longer clubs with less loft. But players react to the club face in the backswing and in transition. They react to where the club face is and then adjust accordingly. So left-hand side, one of our good junior players here, he's made some changes in this initial move. So that's where he started, going into lockdown. And that leading edge almost parallel to the ground, and that sort of checkpoint with the shaft level with the ground. Now on the right hand side, different move going back here. You can see now the leading edge is popping up a bit more, toe pointing a bit more up, almost matching his spine angle at that point, which is a fairly neutralish checkpoint. Now when he gets to the top of the swing, again quite a closed club face. So leading edge, again, almost parallel to the ground, club face pointing up at the sky, top of the swing over this side. Leading edge a bit more like his shoulder plane. Now, the reason he's made that change is because on the left-hand side, and most players will do it this way, where the club face is closed, all being equal, that club face would want to point to the left at impact. Now, he knows that, he's a good player. So if the face feels like it's pointing left, he's going to swing it out to the right. So club drops a long way behind him, hands quite deep, head a long way behind him, and shaft angle somewhere like this when that left arm's parallel to the ground. Now, this resulted in draws with a good strike because he's a good player, but his bad one could be a bit of a heavy hook because his club path, so direction the club's moving at impact, was quite a long way out to the right. And it would be, obviously, a draw with sometimes a bit too much shape, or his bad one would tend to be left. And if you try and control the club face through impact because you're missing left, you can have that one as well. So the more your club is moving left or right, generally, the wider your dispersion is going to be. Now, on the right-hand side, because he's changed the club face, he doesn't have to swing it as far to the right anymore. So we get the left arm parallel to the ground on the way down here. At that same point now, that club face has changed quite a bit. But he's just reacting to where the club face was. So now he can feel as though he's swinging less out to the right, and that's a very, very different position for him on the way down. So if you're struggling to change the ball flight or your transition, check where you're on the backswing because there's a good chance you're reacting to where the club face is in order to then hit the target.
So this is typically how I see players react to club face in the backswing. Where their club face is closed, as you just seen, so face wants to point left, they'll swing out to the right. Where club face is open, face wants to point right, players will swing across to the left and they'll hit fades. So there's other ways of reacting to the club face as well. You can have a situation where the face might be quite open, so toe pointing down, left wrist cupped. They'll then strengthen the club face by flexing that wrist on the way down, but that's definitely rarer. And you would have seen, I'm sure, Dustin Johnson at Masters, and he's been on a lot of reviews lately. Now, he has a closed club face, yet he doesn't drop it behind him and hit hooks. That's fine. There are exceptions. And if you can do what he does, don't try it. But if you could, which would be closed face because of wrist and grip, the club does fall down some amount into here. But then because this ridiculous turn he's got, which moves the club path more to the left, combined with the fact he can do this with his hands and keep that amount of shaft lean to keep the face open, which most amateurs, all amateurs, won't be able to do, he can hit a fade from there. But the most common way I see players reacting to club face is club face closed, swing out to the right, club face open, swing across to the left. So if you're struggling to change your ball flight or the strike, whatever it might be, it's not always the best thing to do a drill that will work on just impact. So if I had an open club face or I was hitting slices and my club face was open, it's no good just putting a object. Let's get an object. Another kid's club. Something there to try and swing out that way, or avoid, or a stick in the ground like that to try and swing underneath. If your club face is open, you're not going to do it because you know the ball's going to go over that way. So look for the appropriate change. Go and see whoever it is you see. Go online at Skillist and pick the cause of what's making your ball flight the flight you don't want.